What's going on, ACL Nation? Here we are, episode number 32 of Baggin Braggin. We got a interview show. No highlights just yet. It's a little bit too quick to turn around, but we're just two tomatoes with the microphone, sitting here sunburnt as can be. Meesh. I'm kind of hiding it with my hat. I could definitely see it all over you, though. You're looking a little red. My nose feels like a leather couch as I am peeling as we're getting back from Spencer McKenzie. Meesh just lives out there. But we had a good time out there in Spencer McKenzie. Do a quick recap on that. Talk with Kimberly Glass today about how her season went, and she had a success at the Pro Invitational Tournament. And then the Money Man of the Hour, Jay Rubin, the Money Man of the Month, actually, Jay Rubin, fresh off of his doubles victory and Crew Cup victory at Spencer McKenzie. But before we get into it, Meesh, how are you doing?
Dude, I am sunburned, but I didn't go to Spencer McKenzie's, as you said. I just stupidly, when you were here, we were laying in the pool, and I don't know why I thought, we won't be in there that long. I'll just do it. Well, I was getting new windows installed, as you know, because that's what woke you up. But it was like, I just didn't think about how long we were going to be out there, because I knew I had to pick up Rome from school, and I was like, it's just going to be a little bit. So I put nothing on. I'm white. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a white girl. Okay? I can't just be rolling in the sun with no sunscreen. Crazy person.
Yeah, I was starting to peel this morning, and I'm like, oh, I just hate this. Like, whenever you get out of bed, you just look at the bed, you see your desk, it's so disgusting. I feel terrible. Like, I don't ever usually burn or peel or anything like that, but this one was sneaky. Like, we still had the cloud cover, but the sun was just beaming through it. And then on court one, where we were set up, like the sun was there for probably the first 4 or 5 hours, and we can't run anywhere. You know, our back's against the VIP booth area, and then we're just stuck in it. And then when it finally goes overhead, then it's like, all right, cool. Now we're freezing, we're cold. But you know, it was definitely an element that I wasn't prepared to deal with. I felt exhausted every day by like 3 o'clock because of it. So it's something I underestimated. But I do got some bragging.
I totally racially profiled.
Oh yeah, you or me, it's fine.
I was like, yeah, he doesn't need sunscreen. He's not white. He's fine.
I've never bought it. I've never bought it until this weekend. This was the first time I beat it, but I do got some bragging I want to do. I want to brag on my friends.
All right, brag away.
Yeah, at the Spencer McKenzie Throwdown, I will brag real quick on Daniel Labbert from Dragon Bags. Got the graphic up there? I can't see. I'm dropping the ball, Meesh. There we go. I got it.
It's freezing on me. I'm sorry.
I got it. So, yeah, Daniel Lambert from Dragon Bags. I went there, and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I'm going to throw Sean Latham. We're looking forward to this. We don't have any bags, and we'll have to see what he can do. He's like, I got you. He came over and brought me some of the Dirty Dragons, which were absolute money this whole entire weekend. Bragging on all the support. Everyone just kept asking me, how you doing? And Sean and I were just on fire, so I'm going to brag on Sean. He hit, like, 2 or maybe 3 roll bags out of nowhere, and like they weren't accidental. Like he asked me, he's like, what do you want me to do? I was like, roll it. You know, it's like, you know, he's already up 3-2 on the round. I'm like, he's going to roll it. You know, I was like, if he goes board and gets me 2 points, I'm perfectly fine with that. But no, he hit both rolls on command. And then there was one moment in the game that he just went up top and hit a double airmail drag, and just I was like, okay, Sean's coming to play. And then we ended up switching sides, and I think I threw like a 2.6 that game. So, yeah, not my forte with my arm over the board in the wind. And then, of course, we ran into Jeff Reynolds and Justin Stranger with our final game in bracket play or rounders play. And I think Justin Stranger, I'm going to brag on his airmail in the wind, especially McKenzie, because I think he was 8 for 8. It was insane. So, bragging on him for that one. But, yeah, we went 5-2. We made tier 1. I was happy with it. We ended up going 0-2 in bracket play, but I'm definitely bragging on that. Bragging on Sean for hosting, having a good time out there. And, just kind of running into everybody and mingling and having fun. I enjoyed everything about this weekend.
Well, since I wasn't there, I'm going to brag on my on Costco. I'm going to brag on Costco. I don't know if you're a Costco fan, if you're a Costco member, but I bought a cordless vacuum years ago from Costco, but Nick didn't want me to because he hates Dyson, like has like an actual vendetta against Dyson. He thinks they're garbage.
For no reason.
But I wanted a cordless vacuum, and so I said, well, I'll get it from Costco because then if it breaks, you can return it. And then it broke, and I had to return it, which I was not wanting to do. So you just walk in here and you hand it to them, and they're like, all right, you paid cash. Do you want cash back? And that's it. It's like so easy. That's crazy.
Yeah, we don't have a Costco, at least around here that I'm aware of, but that sounds pretty awesome. And by the way, I don't know, have you recorded the other show yet around the ACL?
No.
Okay, because I threw an 8.08 at Spencer McKenzie. I kept track of my rounds. So make sure that you tell Anthony that my bag was not trash. I was actually pretty decent. And then in Crew Cup, I think I threw like a 4. So if I didn't have a bag in the hole, I had a bag in front of the hole, which is pretty good. Crew Cup bags. So yeah, so take that, Anthony. But yeah, no. I'm actually proud of myself too. I'm gonna brag on myself here for the household stuff. I mean, she kind of got me thinking about vacuum cleaners and cleaning and stuff now. So packing up mom's stuff. My goal was to do 1 box a day. I got 3 boxes taken care of, and I'm pretty motivated to finish off the other 4 boxes I got here. So when we get off here, I'm packing up more boxes, and then the weight loss and healthy journey has begun. So far, day 1, but discipline so far to this point.
Nice. I just think it's funny that you're like all this like cornhole stuff, and I'm like, so my vacuum. And then
the household stuff is important.
To continue.
That'd be crazy.
To continue, because I'm not. I will not vacuum if it's corded. I am that person. Like I'm not walking around unplugging and plugging into various. I will just not do it. I will just sweep. I don't mean to make it sound like I never clean. Like I'll just sweep. I just refuse to vacuum unless I have a cordless vacuum, and then I'm totally down. So the Costco guy told me that they get Dyson's returned, like gets returns on the LG. So that's what I got.
Yeah. My mom's lawnmower to cut the grass is corded, so I'm right there with you. I hate cords. I do live feeds. My whole life is surrounded by cords. I'm done. I hate them.
Yes, it is. But it's awful. Yeah, I'm just not down for it. I don't want to do it.
I don't blame you at all.
So, anyways. What was that?
No, I didn't say that. Or say we're internet issues right now too. Just this is how you start a show, by the way.
I know. It's so annoying. I hate this stupid internet sometimes. Apparently, like our city's been having issues with internet or AT&T or something because I've seen people post about it. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Anyways,
AT&T cell phone right now too.
Yeah. What was it? What? Huh?
My AT&T cell phone is garbage right now too.
Oh, so maybe I don't know. Maybe it is everywhere, not just in O-Town, Orville. Yeah. Who knows? All right. Well, as Wally said, we have a really cool show. 2 interviews for you today. Really interesting. One thing that I will tell you about what we learned about Jay Rubin that I think is worth the whole interview is he gave us his practice routine, and it's very specific. Yeah. What he said that he does when he practices. So definitely you don't want to miss that. That's going to be really interesting. But we've got Kimberly coming up first. So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back with that right after this. Welcome back, everyone. We have our first interview of the show. We brought on Kimberly Glass. She just won the Pro Invitational. And I don't know if you listened to some of the preliminary stuff, Kim, but people weren't picking you guys to win. So good for you for showing them what's up, because everyone was going, Cheyenne Jamie's going to win. Mm-hmm. It's Lockdown or Mark and Rosie or Tony and Miranda. And you guys came out and won it. So congratulations.
Thanks.
I don't even think Kim was picking them to win. I was there talking to her backstage, and she was saying, I don't know, I'm struggling a little bit with these bags, although everything looked fine from where I was sitting. She was like, I'm struggling this and this. I said, if you need to change bags, I feel like KB could adjust, but for the most part, I think you're okay. You just got to believe in yourself. Like, she walked away, then Cameron and myself and Allison were like, she's good.
And I do get nervous because of the boards were a little bit slow, and I wanted to make sure that Caleb had some bags that he was comfortable with. So he did pick the slower of my Viper hours out of the two. And I'm like, oh boy, oh please, just do your thing, Kimberly, just go. So, and it did end up working out.
It's one of those things where
I mean, what did it mean?
And you're like, please don't pick that one. Please don't pick that one.
I know.
What did it mean to make the Pro Invitational and then win it?
You know, I worked really hard this season, and that was my goal, was to at least try to be in the top 5 of the pro women by the end of the season. Last year, I was 10th. I missed the Pro Invitational by 1 because Bella wasn't able to. So Courtney Coy was 1 in front of me. So I'm like, gosh darn it. So next year. So I really did. I worked hard. I practiced a lot, and I got a lot more comfortable. I kind of got lucky this season, you know, with the live event for the teams for Kentucky Colonels. So I got a little bit of that broadcast under my belt with that. So as each one with Cheyenne when we were in at Worlds. So this time I was just like, you know what? Come on, Kimberly, you've been here before. Just try not to worry about the lights and the cameras and people watching you. Just do your best. So just making it to the final 8, you know, being tied with Yeti at number 4 was just a blessing. And I mean, I can't even explain how excited I was to know that I even made the invitational.
Yeah, that's awesome. So speaking of your TV appearances, you had what, 4 of them this year?
I did. I had the first one was on Super Hole with Kim Glass. And let me tell you, she was one amazing person. She was so much fun to get to know that night. She was just having a good time. And that's, you know, what this Super Hole is all about. And then I had the pro shootout. I had made it to the final 2 with Cameron in Minneapolis. Kentucky Colonels, we were on in Detroit. And then I made it on with women's singles with Cheyenne at Worlds in Rock Hill. So this would have been my fifth appearance. So
that's actually pretty cool because you're able to touch every single base of what all the broadcasts that we do are. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I guess, except for a full event, right? Did you play any events at 21 or just all round limited?
The event with Cheyenne was to 21. That TV timeout kind of killed me on that one, but the other ones were all round limited.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got a lot of round limited experience.
There's actually a point at Worlds there where you were owning that game. You actually had everything working for you. It was another situation, like you said, where the TV timeout kind of got you. Was there anything that was going through your head that maybe changed your game, or do you think Cheyenne just started clicking at that point?
I think it's a little bit of both. When we took the timeout, I kept trying to tell myself, don't let this stop you. Try to keep that momentum. I probably shouldn't have doubted myself going back into the game, because I kind of did. I'm like, okay, I hope I didn't lose my momentum, instead of just going in and being like, all right, I got this, let's go kind of thing. But she did start picking it up as well. So in the first, you know, before the TV timeout, you know, she wasn't as consistent with 4 bagging, getting them to the hole, where when we came back, she wasn't missing. So, you know, that put a little bit more, you know, stress on me, because I was like, all right, come on, let's get that game back, you know, where I was. And I have 2 shots I probably shouldn't have done. I was a little aggressive with, that cost me some points. And so if I could do it all over again, I would have taken at least 1 back. I probably still would have did the second shot, but she earned it. She outplayed me in the second half, I'm going to say, you know, after that TV timeout. And she did. She was Cheyenne. She did her thing. So, but you know, it was great to even make it to the final 2.
The TV timeout is an interesting new thing this season. We've seen it completely switch games. We've seen people who were missing all their shots all of a sudden find it. We've seen people who couldn't miss lose it. Like, what are your thoughts on this timeout?
Well, when they had told us that after the first, when we get to 11, I think it was 11 points, they were going to do a TV timeout. And I was like, what? No, you know? And they're like, I know, but we have to do the TV timeouts. So I just think that I didn't like it because it, of course, messed with my momentum. My momentum was going, you get into a rhythm type of thing. However, had I been on the opposite side, of the spectrum and I was down points, you know what I mean? Then I probably would have wanted that timeout, just to kind of give that person, the break, or Cheyenne, since that's who I was playing at the time. So I don't know. I can see it both ways, but I definitely didn't like it during my game at that time. But if that helps change the course, I actually told my husband afterwards, I said, I probably should have taken a timeout, just a personal timeout, when she started getting fired up, which was one of the mistakes that I made, just to kind of maybe slow her down a little bit. So, it's a learning curve. It's my second year, finishing my second year of the pro circuit. I'm still learning, and trying to get that comfortable feel on the courts, as each game passes.
Yeah, I think that mental warfare is real. I can't remember who it was. If it's Bernie, I hate giving Bernie credit, but if it's Trey, then it's okay. But I think he said, instead of looking at the timeouts as stopping momentum, look at something that you gain from it. Like, I gain another fresh start, or I could, kind of basically flip your mind into thinking this is good for me too. I needed a breather or something like this. I don't know, something you're gonna have to work on. I'm not gonna make it on TV anytime soon, but with the 5 appearances this year, I think you're on the right track. Do you actually feel like, okay, now I'm a name to be recognized in the women's division?
Well, I don't know. I've been fighting really hard to get up to that point where people will recognize me, know my name, get my name out there. But man, there's some top. I mean, you got Rosie, you've got Cheyenne, you got Sam, you've got Lori, you've got so many that are Cameron. So it's really hard to get up to their level as far as recognition and people knowing who you are. So I was kind of hoping after I won that pro, Caleb and I won on Friday, that people are going to finally be like, oh my gosh, Kimberly Glass, she finally did it, and recognize who I am. I'm just from a small town, and I said, I'm just finishing my second year, so not a lot of people know who I am. So when I was walking out of the event and all these people were just coming up and congratulating me, I seriously told myself, some of these people, I don't know who they are, but they knew who I was, wanted pictures and signatures. And, I've never had that before. So that was pretty exciting to, feel like a celebrity for just that small moment,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, you might be getting recognized more now in the pro division, but I know in your local area, you do a ton for cornhole and growing the sport. Can you talk a little bit about some of the things you do, especially with the youth?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm all about the youth. And before I even became a pro, I had started a youth league here in St. Mary's. And the very first one that I did was actually pretty exciting. I think it was 2019, because I feel like it was before COVID, but time escapes me. But I offered a free after school program, and I had 89 kids sign up between third, fourth, and fifth grade. So that was a pretty exciting thing to have happen. I ended up splitting it into 2 groups, but they had a blast. And ever since then, I've tried to do it at least once or twice a year, that I run some type of either a league or a clinic to teach them. And after that summer, the local, it's called the Learning Center here. It's, it's a preschool. And during the summer, it's more it's preschool through like first, second grade type of thing. And they invited me to come in and do a program of the week. And oh my gosh, that was the best, because I'm working with like 3 and 4-year-old little kids. You got the boards real close and you're pulling them apart. But when school starts, it's fun, because some of those second that are coming into third grade or third going into fourth grade, they see me, they're like, hey, Mrs. Glass. And I have to think a minute, how do they know me? And it's from that learning center experience. But, I'm really trying to build that program here in St. Mary's. And actually our community, we've had some people from Wapak, which is about 10 miles. We've had a player come from there. A couple came from Salina. Just building that program. And then I also last spring did my first Battle of the Teams event. Didn't know how that was going to turn out at all, but I had 17 teams. I think it was 17 teams, 170 players all in one spot. Got the local news to come, do a short video clip. And even at that, I had so many players coming up to me and just having me, they're like, take a look at this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's the matter? They're like, no, look what you did. You've got all these players and spectators all under one roof. And, that was it was really hard because it took a lot of work. And I will admit, I had a couple of directors in the area, regional directors, that I reached out to kind of help me plan, can I do this? What should I do here? How should we do the points? So I got to give them a little bit of credit for that as well. But I'm doing my second one on September the 23rd, and I'm kind of beefing it up a little bit. We've got one and only canine unit coming in to video. So Wally's going to be there doing a live court for us. And so I jazzed it up just a little bit, trying to get some sponsorships so they can get a little recognition and help maybe, put the pot a little bit higher for the payout. And then as far as like my local community, I am so strong about local community. And for my sponsors, I had Big B Coffee, Hometown Pizza, Burger and More, and the VFW. They locally sponsored me here in St. Mary's, and then got real close with Second Crossing Brew over in Rockford. And it was really nice because we really supported them. The VFW in Rockford, we would do blind draws there once or twice a week over at the V, and then in Rockford once a week. I really try to give back. And Big B Coffee, I am probably their number one supporter because I'm there all the time. But, I try to promote them, get people to go to their business. I share their stuff on social media, same with Hometown Locker Room. But I don't know, it just means a lot to me. Community is big and they support me. So I want to try to learn how to support them back.
It's working.
Yeah. So
it's definitely working. This is awesome to see what you do, not just in your pro career, but outside to grow the sport. So thanks so much. We are unfortunately out of time. We've just loved being able to chat with you for a little bit here on the show. And I wish you all the luck going into next season.
Thank you. And I really appreciate you guys having me. And I do have to give one last shout out to Ultra Cornhole for sponsoring me as well. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
We are back with our next interview, and we brought on Jay Rubin, who had a massive weekend and month. Won a little bit of money playing cornhole, just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jay, it's been awesome watching you succeed, especially the back half of the season. So congratulations on all your success, and we can't wait to get to know more about what's going on with you. So welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. What up, buddy?
How are you, sir?
Man, pretty good. Long time no see. How was the travel back?
Grueling. I got back to my Airbnb at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I was up by 2 o'clock to head to LAX to catch a 5 a.m. flight, and got home around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, picking the kids up by 3, and went to bed around 11. So it's been an exhausting past few days, to say the least.
Well, I definitely appreciate you trying to find some time to fill in here, man. I know it's kind of last minute, but
yeah.
I mean, you're the big man on campus right now, man. $20K from the Spencer McKenzie double, $25K from the shootout. I mean, you probably haven't even a chance to take them to the bank yet, but you're getting pretty familiar with cashing these big giant checks. I mean, it's becoming a thing for you.
You know what? I love it. I always say that I love the big moments, the big money and everything that comes with it. I consider myself, a closer in the game, especially when there's high stakes on the line. I don't feel that pressure or anything else like that, which, there's a lot of people, especially, some of the younger kids involved in the game, they may have won a national or something to that effect, or a shootout where, you're playing for 5,000, 10,000, whatever it is. But when you get up there and you got a bag in your hand, it's for 40 grand, 50 grand, whatever it may be. That's a different feel that some people aren't used to. And, I was never going to let that compromise what I was going to be able to do.
Yeah. Speaking about made for the big moments, I mean, you kept us all on our toes. You always got to keep them, never let them know what direction you're going. We're all thinking Jay wants to go up. He wants to hit an and two. He wants to hit a clean air mail. No, he just wants to knock baby goat off the back of the board to score the one.
It was actually an and two attempt. So I've never had it on a featured court before, and I've never executed anywhere besides in my house. And I was like, if I ever have this moment on TV and it's not going to cost me a game, I'm going to, shoot for it. And I was like, best case scenario, I hit it, right? The middle case scenario is like, all right, maybe I knocked the 2 off. I'm still on the board. We win the game. Worst case is I just completely chuck it and hit a fan in the back, and I'm giving up a point. But that was probably the latter that was going to happen. But we were up 20-6 or whatever it was. We were still shooting pretty good. We just gave up a couple ones. I felt like even if I missed that and I gave up the point, I didn't feel like that was going to cost us the game. But I didn't hit the shot, but we still got the victory, and that's all that matters.
I mean, 1918, I'm probably not taking that shot either, but beating up that little cushion, not to mention, I mean, the crowd was actually pretty into it at the end of the game. Yes. I love that you took a second to acknowledge them, and then you did exactly what they wanted to do. And like you said, you wanted to do it too.
Yeah. And then, that was the thing with some of my TV appearances this year. Like, I tried to feed off the crowd. There were times where, like, you could hear people saying, shoot it, send it, this, that, and the other, and I would just kind of, pump them up a little bit, get them excited. Whether I was going to shoot or not, it's irrelevant. But I was trying to get a little bit more fan engagement, which I don't think a lot of people do. Some people naturally have it, with how they carry themselves. But that was something a little bit different that I was going to do this year and moving forward, to try to get the fans involved a little bit more for, TV.
Well, we appreciate it. Unfortunately, I was not able to make Spencer McKenzie's this year. So watching it from home, it was just really fun. I know a lot of people talk about like Crew Cup and stuff. I will tell you as a fan, that is difficult to watch, but like watching you guys was really fun. You guys were throwing so well that social media even accused you of using PEDs, which I think is a compliment. That means like how well you were throwing was so unbelievable. They're like, it can't be real. So like, were you just like, so I talk about this with players, like getting in the zone and how to get in the zone and that feeling. So can you just talk about what you were feeling when you were out there in those big moments?
Well, they didn't know it at the time, but me and Jamie played last year. We lost the championship of our bracket, and McCannon wanted him to play with Eric Davis this year. And me and Jamie were actually supposed to run it back. And Jamie reached out. I'm like, dude, I totally get it. That's another sponsored player. There's no conflictions with bags and stuff like that. But for me, that was a giant target on their backs. Whoever stepped to my side of the board, I wanted to show them, what, you shouldn't have done that. You should have just left it the way it was. And that was the end result. Did I know I was going to go out there and miss? I don't know, maybe I missed 1 bag, 2 at most. No, probably not. But, I was going to go out there and put on a good performance, whether we won or lost, and, show, hey, you know what, I might have finished 25th in singles and doubles, but, I'm still a force to be reckoned with. It just, the results and the breaks didn't go my way for most of the year. And then, from Milwaukee on at the shootout, things really started to click and started to happen for me and for Jordan. So it worked out really well for us.
Well, speaking of social media, you've always been one to put your practice sessions online. You're getting yourself out there. You're showing the bags. You're breaking down the bags and the boards and stuff like that. So you've done tight and right. And I think that's something a lot of players can learn from you and doing the same thing. So if anybody wants to accuse you of PEDs, just go out there. You got a video of you hitting, 80 in a row or something? I mean.
No, what I have on camera is, I believe it's like 126. So for me, if I throw my last bag and it's just dangling in a hole, that's technically not a miss to me. And I was only throwing one way in my house at the time. So I would just grab the bags back. I'm like, well, that's not a play. I didn't miss it. Some people are like, oh, the streak's broke. All right, you call it what you want. I'm going to call it what I want. If it was so easy, you would rattle off 126. But yeah,
I is 16.
Well, what actually worked out well for me is, this massive dog cage you see behind me, and that's where I throw from. I moved that back and out of the way a little bit, so I'm able to throw right over the railing on this side of me. So now I can throw in my house both ways, and that's oddly enough when my season turned around. Yeah, I can go outside and practice, but an hour a day, sometimes, twice a day, that's what really started to do things for me, because I was just as crisp on either side of the board, and it didn't matter.
Yeah. Now, people ask this question all the time, like, is your practice routine just shooting bags, or do you set up shots?
No. So I have to hit 16 in a row 8 times within that hour. Sometimes it's shorter. Sometimes it's a little bit longer. That just at least gets me in the groove of just being down the middle. But what comes with that is, your push shots, your cut collects, your airmail drags, whatever it may be. It's just not just falling right in a hole. So you're still setting yourself up for your normal shots without just going down there and plopping a bag down. You know, and then I'll just lay a block myself, and then I'll work on a little bit of a cut shot, or I'll work on trying to roll different bags and, you know, different scenarios and play it out in my head.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you're just trying to get as many bags in the hole as possible, and that. It's still an offensive game, even if you want to play defense at times. You still have to get bags in the hole. Oh, we got a guest star. What's up, Jay? All right, we're gonna take a quick break, Jay. We'll come right back with more right after this. We're going to keep it rolling here with Jay Rubin. Your partner, Jay, is someone that gets a lot of feathers ruffled in the cornhole world. Jordan Power. I can't go on social media today without seeing his name. I know Jordan pretty well. I think he's a great guy. I think that he does a great job of making sure he is seen and heard. But how do you think that plays into your guys' success?
Honestly, I look at Jordan now. He's a great person. When you get him off the courts, great person. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. On the courts, he does things that keeps himself engaged, keeps himself fired up, you know, and where he wants to be. You know, he's Dennis Rodman of cornhole, right? And, you know, just for the analogy's sake, you know, I'm the Michael Jordan, I'm the veteran, I'm the, you know, the leader and things like that. And what I saw happen, I'm like, you know what, over the course of the year, there were times where we played on TV and he had people directly behind him, you know, chirping at him. So once I saw that, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to start chirping back. And what people didn't see in the media timeout was in Crew Cup, you know, a group of guys in the stands behind Jordan chirping. And then I started to run my mouth. You know, he was chirping with another player, and I made sure I chirped back. You know, I wanted to make sure he understands I got his back as much as he has mine. You know, this is a team effort. You can say what you want about him. You can say what you want about me. It's not going to matter at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we got a job to do, and we went out there and we did it.
We need it. We really need it. And the other thing I was going to ask is I was watching it at home, and I heard your interview, and you said that you might not be coming back next season or at all. So can you talk about your future plans?
Yeah, so my future, everything's kind of on pause right now. You know, I've gone through a separation last February that's still kind of ongoing. It's not finalized in court yet. So there's some decisions there, you know, that I have to weigh out. You know, I'm missing a lot of time with my children, that I'm not getting any compromise, you know, with my ex of getting more time during my in-season, especially during the weeks where I'm not traveling. So that's a little bit difficult. You know, you see your kids all the time and you raise them for so many years. And then all of a sudden for 5-6 months of the year, you're only seeing them twice a week, at least on overnight. So, you know, that's a big decision to me, and family comes first for me and my children. You know, I love what I do. I'm great at what I do. I make a great living, you know, between both my careers, but ultimately everything's kind of up in the air. I got a couple more weeks to make my decision. But it's a very difficult one. I'm very methodical, and you know how I'm taking this approach to things, and we'll see.
Yeah, well, you overcame a lot of diversity even to get to this point to begin with. Though I mean, you've kind of had a difficult path just to get yourself to where you're at. You put in the work, obviously. Nobody can doubt that. So I mean, I feel like no matter what decision you make, you're still going to be fine. It's not like you're going to quit throwing it all. You're just going to quit traveling as much, right?
No. So if I quit playing, there's a very, depending on how it's written up in our documents, I might not ever be able to throw a bag again because it would still be considered earned income. So if she catches wind of it, you know, even if I'm playing a little local blind draw or something, and she really wants to go to that level, and, you know, it's written in our paperwork that I cannot throw a bag and make money doing it, you know, now I'm going to have to find myself back in court and doing other things. So that's what I mean. There's a lot of things to consider. So if I hang it up, more than likely, you're not going to see me out and about anymore.
Dear Lord. I don't like the sound of that. But I definitely get it. I definitely get it, though.
It's the reality of the situation, though.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've had that stuff weighing on me, but you know what? When I step out there, I don't let it affect, you know, who I am or what I'm trying to do. You know, I try to put that aside and then deal with it, you know, in my own free time. But we'll see. It's a very difficult decision.
Yeah, looking back at this season, I mean, would you consider the season successful because you made more money, or would you still consider that you left some stuff on the table because obviously you're not walking away with the world championship title 2 years in a row? I mean, how do you review this last season?
This year was a success.
What's more important, I guess?
Well, for me, this season was a huge success. Because I signed with Titan. Statistically, my numbers were off the chart. I probably had a 10-1, 10-2 PPR throughout the year, which is phenomenal. 45 something percent four bag percentage. DPR was a half point to 0.6. So my numbers were great. I just couldn't get any of the results that I wanted until the back half of the year. And everything else that I'm dealing with, I was able to pull through and make quite a bit of money. I had to be probably one of the top 3 highest earners of the year, and I don't travel. So for me, that's a huge win. It's a testament to me, my work ethic, my mindset and everything else that I do.
Absolutely. I was just wondering before, how old are your children?
They're going to be 11 and 6, October 19th, November 19th.
Oh, wow. Weird.
Mm-hmm.
So are they at all interested in cornhole? Because obviously you have it in the house, so it's a little bit more accessible.
Yeah, my daughter was at an early age at about 5 or 6, and she picked up bags, and she actually played in a little kids tournament years ago before it kind of became a thing. My little guy will sometimes pick up bags and just want to throw and run bags in the hole. Some days he just wants to go out and play baseball. There's other days he wants to play on a tablet and watch Pokemon. So I kind of I just kind of let the kids be kids, let them do what they want to do, and guide them through life and support them whichever way you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm actually kind of moving back home to hang out with my kid a little bit more. I'm gonna actually go see her play volleyball here in a little bit, and then she's got that fun stage where we got to start deciphering what's fake mail and what's actual mail as far as colleges, and go through that whole process with her. So I moved back home to help her out with that. So I definitely understand.
You're at a very different stage than us, Wally.
Different stage as far as like what I have to do responsible wise, but I mean definitely wanting to be there for the kid now as opposed to last year. I mean it sucked like being away from the kiddo last year and then trying to rebuild all that stuff now. It's really hard. So
it is difficult.
I feel you.
Absolutely. Well, we have about a minute left here, so I would love to just hear kind of some of your advice for all the thrower up and comers, everyone that's out there throwing bags. What could you leave us with?
I would say, I know people get enamored with rolling and cutting. Learn the flat bag. Don't be scared to take risks. Failure leads to succession in this game. I put myself in situations to fail on purpose just so I know what it tastes like, because then when I know how to succeed from it, I'm just going to flourish. Whether it's been on TV, a little bit of a corner hanging, I can do it in my house. Let's do it here, right? What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to miss the bag. What's the best that's going to happen? You're going to drag it. You're going to have a highlight clip and, great things to come. So don't be afraid to fail in this game. Don't be afraid to approach people, ask questions, because ultimately there's a lot of people out there to help you, and steer you in the right direction for where you want to go.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jay. We truly hope you do come back. We would miss you not having you in the season going forward, but all the luck to you.
Thank you, guys. And I want a quick shout out to Titan Bags for supporting me and sponsoring me this year. They were very instrumental to my success and my drive this year. So, hats off to Brandon, Bruce, Candy, everybody over there at Titan Bags for sponsoring me this season.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay.
All right, thank you.
All right, we had a couple great interviews. It is time now for our games, and I will start with mine. And for my top floor bagger of the week, it's not going to Spencer McKenzie's. Everywhere I turned, every time I opened my phone, it was about Spencer McKenzie's, which, I'm sure was bad for anybody who wasn't there because everybody wants to be there. But it's especially bad when you live a 6.5 hour drive away from it. So it's like right there, but yet I'm not there. Not to mention I live for the beach. The beach is my happy place. So I'm so sad that I couldn't go, but it was also, while it was horrible circumstances as to why Nick's family was all in town this past weekend, it was really nice to see a bunch of people that we haven't seen in a while and have all of our cousins and everybody in town. It was nice to see my brother-in-law's friends come from all over to come and pay their respects and tell stories. And, there's things I didn't know because my brother-in-law was kind of a homebody and he kind of just like stayed in his home. And so I didn't realize that he had like, one of his friends said they FaceTime every 2 weeks, like had a date. And all the friends would like said that he's kept in touch with everybody still. So it was sad, very sad, but it was nice to be with family. And then my 4-bagger is I sent out this survey to cornhole players to see kind of like what content they might be interested in, so that I can kind of gear where I want to go with both my paid and my free content. And I've already had like over 100 people fill it in. And it's just been so interesting to see everybody's ideas. And also like, they have like some pretty cool ideas for like courses and things and support programs. And I'm like, hey, you guys kind of rock. Like you're coming up with some pretty cool stuff. So that's been really fun to read through those and see what people come up with in terms of what they want for support.
That's awesome. Yeah, I actually filled it out this morning. So add me to the list of participants. So yeah. Actually, I clicked on it at first and then it gave me a pop-up window and I clicked on that and it said your free trial starts now. I'm like, no, I didn't want the free trial. So I had to go back and restart it, but then I got it filled out. So that's kind of cool that people are interested and they're engaging and giving you new ideas. So for me, we already kind of talked about it. The top floor bagger is the sunburns. I'm just done over it. I don't know what I did to you, Mr. Sun, but I'm over it. I'll be a hermit. I got the air conditioning cranked all the way down to like 65. I'm just freezing in here. That's why I'm wearing hoodies indoors. I'm done. I'm not going to be outside anytime soon. As I mentioned, I got plenty of work here to do with these boxes, so I'm done. Me and the Sun are beefing. My top bagger, though, is the opposite of you. It's the Spencer McKenzie tournament in general. I think it is amazing. I've only been there 2 years. I went there last year. I had an absolute blast. This year I went to work and play, and I got to say it was probably the perfect mixture of it. Like, we had some technical issues that Corn overcame, but there was, Chuck Liddell. We got some of the SWAT guys came out. They were playing cash tournaments in the middle of the tournament. It was awesome to see just literally everybody having a great time there. So sorry to kind of rub that in, Meesh, but I mean, I think that it's going to be even bigger next year, and there's still so much more room in that area to just continue to grow this and make it bigger and better. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get this thing up to 500K at some point.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised at all. No. I mean, I think you're totally right. And it's interesting because it's the closest tournament we have to location-wise to me. Mm-hmm. And I have missed 2 out of the 3. I've only been once of the 3 years I've been involved and known about it.
You're gonna hate
bad luck with Spencer McKenzie's.
You're gonna hate my would you rather then.
Oh geez. Okay.
So would all right. You rather?
Let me go to set. Oh, you're doing it now. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll do it now. Would you rather work outside of the country? We're going to Paris, Australia, or anywhere outside of the country, or would you rather work the Spencer McKenzie's tournament?
I think Spencer McKenzie's, yeah. I think that's my jam. I actually really like Ventura, always have. I had friends who went to school or college in Santa Barbara, so I'd visit there, and I've spent a lot of time there. My brother lives in Ojai, and so I'm in that area quite a bit, and I love it. So I would love to have an excuse to go there. All right, you ready for my would you rather? Mm-hmm. It's inspired from the broadcast. So, would you rather wear sunglasses on the broadcast when it's clearly nighttime, or have a wicked sunglasses tan? Everybody sees. So
I actually gave Trey those sunglasses that he did the intro with. We had a little section there before they started the show, and Trey was like, whoever the MC was, I think it was Chismark, he was going, all right, sunglasses number 1 or sunglasses number 2? And I got to say, I'm a sunglasses guy. I'm all about it. Jeremy Frazier looked cool on the broadcast with sunglasses. Windsor last year, Almanza. I'm a sunglass all the way kind of guy.
Because there were so many people on social media like, why are they wearing sunglasses if it's indoors? Like, you can tell it's dark. Now the lights are bright on the court, I will say. Yeah. But I don't know. It would depend how bright. Like, going back to my Costco story, so I'm carrying this box with my vacuum in pieces, and I had sunglasses on, and I walked in the door, and I like turned to my friend and said, "Can you please take my sunglasses off? Like, I can't handle this. I'm not freaking Kanye. Like, I can't just like stand at a Costco with sunglasses on." So I think I'm gonna go with the sunglasses tan on that one.
Oh man,
can't do it. All right,
send it or board it.
Yeah. Send it or board it. All right. My send it or board it is you win tons of money and you're super successful at cornhole, but the cornhole industry, the people, the fans hate you.
All right. Well, before I answer, I'll do my send it or board it. You have Jordan Powers haters and money, or you're loved by everyone and don't get anything. You can't tell me that we don't deserve to do a show together. All right, so we're on the same page. All right, so I'll answer first. I would love to have the money and the haters, because you don't boo the players that aren't good. You only boo the players that are good. You learn to hate them. Either way, you know who they are, and it's a lot easier for me to get over it and sleep at night whenever I have, $45,000 in my pocket that they got. So I'm fine with being hated.
So you're sending it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sending it, which is actually kind of weird right now because I'm the opposite of this question. I'm very loved right now with no money.
I don't know if I could do it. I don't know. I want to say that I am a strong enough person to handle the haters like at that level. I don't know if I am.
Need another session.
I don't know. I want to say, oh, I wouldn't care. I got the big check and whatever. But I might care.
Wow, we're on the opposites today. All right.
I don't want to be that person, Wally. I am going to strive to not be that person.
You're so vain, Meesh. You're so vain. You only care about your public perception of yourself. For 45.
No, I really don't.
I buy yourself a nice mask.
I want to be as strong as Jordan Powers. Jordan Power, you are my hero because you can handle it, and unless you're lying, it doesn't seem to faze you. And I wish I was more of that.
All right, good show. Good show.
All right, guys. We are all out of time here. We're going to wrap it up. Thanks, everyone, for spending some time with us here. We had a couple great interviews that you got to enjoy. Next week, hopefully, we'll have some more partner reveals, Wally. Is that coming up?
Yeah, I think the goal right now is to have a couple partner reveals. We got one, I believe, rookie class lined up. And then I believe one heavy elite hitter. And then hopefully I'll have some time to get us some replay highlights from Spencer McKenzie. So we'll see. It'll be fun. Stay tuned.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.